So if anyone having questions, you can ask me. Yesterday, we also discussed how to dynamically add the events. If you look at that, we added the mouse over and mouse leave events. Am I right? We added the mouse over and mouse leave events, and then we also created the all the rows dynamically. So everything is dynamic in this particular page. There is no static content except the table, isn't it? There is no static content except the table. So this is how you are going to build your HTMLs. Got it? This is how you are going to build your HTML. So yesterday what we have done is we have created a list of gadgets. We have a list of gadgets. I'm having two gadgets there: company, model, price, image URL, site URL. And then what I was doing is I thought of bringing these objects onto the UI. That means I would like to display them in a tabular format. For that, I have created a shopping HTML with a table. So I just created the table with the table, striped table sales. That's it I have done. I haven't done anything else. But now as the content is dynamic, the content is not static, it is dynamic. So what I need to do, I need to create this table sales, and then I just need to bind that dynamical those items to this particular table. So for that, what I have done is I am going there to the sales.js. Here I am going here. I'm saying display gadgets. So gadget in this particular row, first I'm getting that particular table, and then I'm looping through as many gadgets I'm having. I'm looping through all those gadgets. So first gadget where row created equal to create table row. That means in this particular line number 61, what I'm doing, I am creating a row. A row for what? A row for the first gadget. A row for the first gadget. So now let me go to the create table row method, and I am passing those gadget details to this particular gadget row method, where row equal to document dot create element. This line number 2 is creating a row object, and then from here to here I am creating the column objects. Create the column objects. Now here I am creating the image, and here I am creating an anchor. So once I created all these images, then what I need to do is I need to give the gadget details to each and every column of the row. So here I am adding the details of each and every uh, property of the gadget, company, model, price, and all for that particular column. So once the column is created, I need to attach these columns to one row, then the newly created row, so that one row will be completed. So in order to complete one row, what are the things that we have done? One, create row, create column, add data to the column, and then now bind column to the row, and then bind row to the table. So these are the steps. First you need to create the row, you need to create the column and add data to the column. Next, bind that particular column to the row and bind the row to the table. Because the low level element is the TD. TD needs to be attached to the TR. Like it is the structure is like this, right? TD, TR, TD, some data, TD. So first I'm creating the TD. TD is TD created, TR created. Now this TR is inside the table. TR should be appended to the table. So now which one we need to create first? We need to create the TD first. Then we need to create attach the TD to the TR, and then attach the tr to the table. That is how you are going to structure it. And loop it for each and every item. Repeat the steps for each and every item. Is it clear? Okay. So in today's discussion, we will just give the introduction to the object-oriented JavaScript. Okay, you will just have the introduction to the object-oriented JavaScript. So what are the different concepts of the object-oriented JavaScript and why we need to understand it? Right now, up to now, whatever we are doing, it is the type of coding which we are doing now. It is very old style of coding. It's very old style of coding. That means around 2000 to 2005, we used to follow these kind of coding practices. But now we are not doing that. Instead, we will be doing something else. We will be dealing with the objects. So everything is an object in the JavaScript. Everything is an object in the JavaScript. So, and moreover, the relation is something like this. You will be having a object, you will be having a database. Database will be having a table, let us say employee table. So employee table will be there in the database. In the middle tier, what will happen is they will create a class which is similar to the employee table with all the records. Now they will expose the class to the front end. That means you have to deal with that particular class. If you have to deal with the class, obviously you need to deal with the objects. Got it? So objects are very most important thing. Object oriented JavaScript is most important thing in the uh, current trending world. Got it? Object oriented JavaScript and understanding the objects is very much important. So what are the different concepts around the object oriented JavaScript? What are the different concepts around that?
Inherited,
Inheritance. What is meant by inheritance?
acquiring the properties of other class means acquiring the properties of parent class.
Right. Okay. The code is pushed now. So what are the different properties of the object oriented JavaScript is inheritance, private and public methods, inheritance, private and public, static, am I right? Inheritance, private, public, and static. So these are the different concepts of the inheritance and reusable components, making it reusable codes. When you talk about the inheritance, it will automatically talk about the reusable things. Okay. So these are the different concepts that we are going to deal when we are dealing with the object-oriented JavaScript. Apart from this, there are few concepts called closures and then callbacks, and also closures, callbacks, and inheritance in the JavaScript is prototypal. So we will be dealing with these topics probably in the for the object-oriented JavaScript. Am I clear? We will be dealing with these topics during the object-oriented JavaScript. Am I clear? What are the topics that we are going to discuss? Inheritance,
Private, public, static.
private, public, how to create the private members, how to create the public members, how to create the static members, and then how to create the
Reusable
objects,
component.
reusable components, how to make the class reusable, closures, callbacks, prototypal inheritance. Got it? So these are the different topics which we are going to discuss as part of the JavaScript, object-oriented JavaScript. So in general, there are almost 5 ways to create the objects. In general, there are 5 to 6 ways to create the objects. So I will tell you the first method. Usually we don't discuss in this. I don't discuss this, but these days people are asking me different kinds of questions. Kiran, is it the only way, or in the interviews you are getting these kind of questions? How many ways that you can create the objects and all? In the interviews you are getting these kind of questions. So I thought it's okay to explain you those. So what I'm doing here, I'm creating a new folder called object oriented JavaScript, and I'm sorry guys, a lot of background noise. Give me 1 second. Okay, so now I think it is less noisy. Okay, so now what we are doing, we are going to understand how many ways that we can create the objects. So I'm creating a simple index.html file and as well as the git open as brackets project. Save. Let me add the index.html. The first way is object literal. The first way is object literal. So object literal. First way is the object literal. So what this object literal is, where employee equal to this. So this is a simple object literal. We call it as a simple object literal. So this is way where employee equal to double open and closing of curly braces is going to create the object. Simple or no?
Yes, Kevin.
So this can contain anything. You can extend it. Suppose now if you want to add the ID to this employee dot ID equal to 1234. Employee dot name equal to Kiran. Like that, you can extend this. You can add as many properties as you want. You can add it. Now, where department equal to, I am creating another this one, and department will be having department ID, right? So now I want the employee, I want to consume the department inside the employee. How can I do that? Simply, I can add this particular one. I can simply add this one and say employee dot department or DEPT equal to department. So now all the properties of the employee will be coming to the, department will be attached to the employee class. Got it? Department is a separate class and employee is a separate class. Now I would like to consume the department inside the employee. So this is the way you are going to consume the employee. Do you want to see how the output will be? Employee, save it, and in my index.html, let me refer that particular file. Of course, right now I'm not having anything, so I'm just referring the file. Later we will add everything. Source equal to done. And now let me run it. So what is the first way? This is the console object. So this is having department object inside the department. Another object is there inside the employee. Department object is there or not? Any questions? Am I not audible?
Yes, Kiran.
Now we are audible.
Yes,
Okay.
I had a question.
Yeah.
We can declare the variables in object also, right?
Yeah, we can declare the variables inside the objects also. Inside the objects means where? Give me
In literal object, in curly braces.
in curly brackets. Let us say you are talking about here. Yeah, that is also one. That is also second way. That's what I'm going to explain you now. Now,
Yeah.
the same employee object can be declared like this. The same employee object can also be declared like this. Second way. Now here, what you are going to do? Var person equal to object literal, just mention as object literal only, and then here name Kiran, age 30, date of birth something, something like that. You can give like this. So this is also another way of doing it. Which one you are comfortable with, you can play with that. In which approach you are comfortable with, you can go with that. Which one you are comfortable with, the first one or second one?
Something looking like arrays.
almost something looking like the arrays. Okay, now the third one which I am going to tell you is a more kind of a professional way. Which I am going to tell you now is more kind of a constructor way. Okay, so now third way, where vehicle equal to function, where vehicle equal to function. Okay, now in this way you directly cannot use the vehicle. In this way you cannot directly use the vehicle. So what I'm going to do, this dot here equal to 2015, this dot make equal to Audi, this dot model equal to A5. Now if I have to use this particular vehicle object, if I want to use this vehicle object, I cannot directly use it. I need to create an instance of the vehicle, then only I will be able to do it. I need to create an instance of it, then only I will be able to do it. Understand? How I will do it now? Where car equal to new of vehicle, car equal to new of vehicle, and then car dot year equal to, you can assign the values, car dot make equal to Nissan, and then car dot model equal to Renault. Console dot log of car. Is this clear? Give me 1 second. Hello. Cheppandi. So in this way, let us see what we are doing in this approach. How we are doing, just observe. I'm refreshing my page. What is the difference between the previous approach and this approach? In the previous approach, directly you are not creating any instance, directly you are creating the object. Whereas here you are creating a, do you see this? Vehicle, make, model, year 2016. So are we getting it? What is that? Yeah. So this is my project, right? Right. I'm going to the app.js, and you see that the difference between the previous case and this case is, this is a class. This is a class. Whereas these are all objects. These are all objects. This is a class. So you are creating a class here, and then classes can directly, you cannot consume the classes. Instead, what you need to do, you need to create the instance of the class and you have to do it. Got it? How to create the instance? Where car equal to new vehicle. No. The declaration is also enough, Avinash. Just if you can declare it, that is also more than sufficient. This is also more than sufficient. Assigning the variable, assigning the values are not required. You can assign the values later. So basically, you are going to create an object here, and then you are going to play with that particular object. Did I answer the question? Okay. So, how many ways we learned? Yeah.
Three ways.
We are we have learned it 3 ways. We have learned in 3 ways to create the object. Okay. Now, most of the times we will be dealing with the object literals. Majority of the times we will be dealing with the object literals. But when you are writing very professional programming, when you are writing a highly professional programming, then you will be using the third way. That means var vehicle equal to function. First you will create the class and then you will expose that particular class so that others can create the instances of the class. Got it? Am I clear? Any questions?
అలా పెడతారా ఎవరైనా ఏసీ ఆన్లో ఉన్నాగా
Let us try to understand what is this keyword here. What is this keyword? In any context, whenever you are finding this keyword, first you need to understand what is the context of that keyword. It means what is the context? In this particular scenario, the context is the vehicle object. In this particular scenario, the context is the vehicle object. That means the function which is uh, you will be in the context of that particular function, or you will be in the context of the root cause of for creating that particular function. Let us say if I am saying new vehicle, so when you are saying new vehicle, so you will be in the context of the vehicles context. This means you will be in the context of vehicle. Sometimes you will be using the key press and all. So in that case, you will be under the context of the that particular control. Whenever you are using the keyword with the when you are using this keyword with the key button click or the key press, you will be under the context of that particular control because that control is responsible, that control is the main object for that particular method. Similarly here the vehicle is the main object for this particular method, so that's where we are using this dot here, means it will refer to the vehicles here. And this property which you are finding here, these properties are called public properties. These properties are called public properties. Why we call them public? Because when you are going to create the instance of this class, these properties will be available to the instance. These properties will be available to the instance. Here what I'm doing is vehicle, what you say, win. Vehicle win equal to, it is something like this. Okay. Now this win property is not available to the, this win property is not available to the car. Why? Because it is a private property. Anything which is in terms of the var, it will be private. Whereas anything which you are declaring with this, it will be the public property. Is that clear?
Yes, Kiran.
Kiran, what is the difference between this variable and object? I can say var win is called, we can also call it as a variable, right?
As a variable, this is talking about the context of the function. Which context? This is in the under the vehicles context, right? This function is under the vehicles context. So when you say this, means it will be attached to the vehicle class. Year will be attached to the vehicle class. Make will be attached to the vehicle class. Whereas win will not be attached. Win is private to the vehicle.
My question is like var win is called something like, is it a variable? We can say it as a variable. We can call it as an object also, right?
It's a simple variable and it is a private variable to the class. It's a normal variable only. Got it, Swami?
Yes, Kiran.
It's a normal
And
variable
also,
only. Yeah.
okay, is there any particular reason when we are using numbers, we are not using the double quotes? Say in person for age, we are not using the double quotes.
Right.
Even for
That
vehicle
means
model also, we are not using the double quotes. So is there any
it's
particular reason?
no. It's we are just representing as integers. That's it. Nothing else. We are representing as integers. We are representing as integers. That's what we are doing here.
Thank you.
Clear? Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
So we will see most of the other properties probably in the next session. Your next session will be on Tuesday. So we will discuss more about the object-oriented programming and then how to declare the private variables, public variables and all probably in the next session. Okay?
So there will be no class tomorrow, Kiran?
There is no class tomorrow.
Okay.
We have a long weekend here, so there is no class tomorrow.
All right.
Okay. Thank you.
Isn't that Monday from India or Tuesday from?
Monday, I mean Tuesday from India.
Okay, so we have
Your
Monday.
Monday, your Monday normal.
Okay.
Hi, Kiran.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm Mamta. Can I get the access to the recordings?
Can you drop me an email please so that I can provide you that recording in access?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Kiran.